Okay.
So
yes, continue with that philosophy.
I at the same time, I was called by Kayihura. Kayihura, I lived slightly closely with Kayihura in the bush. We came to know each other there.
Yes.
And I even remember one time, anyway, let me not go into depth, but Kayihura is also one person.
Yes.
Who summoned me.
Yes.
Because he was my immediate boss.
Yes.
I was commandant of a school of political education, and Kayihura was director of political education. He said, Basakana, what have you done? Kayihura had no kind words for me. He belittled me and said my decision to leave the army was stupid. But also Kayihura was a civilized man. Then in the army, when we were together,
right,
he was very tolerant.
Right.
And I remember telling him that your comments are equally foolish. He threw his hands in the air and we parted. He didn't take offense. Never mind that he was higher in what? In rank.
Yes.
You know, the military usually suffers from rankism. So, at that tender age of 32, I really knew we were chasing nothing. My frustration had grown because I saw, why have we become different from what we had professed to become?
Right.
What has become, why did we harbor a philosophy we never loved?
Wow.
Why did we expose a nation we never wanted to build?
Wow.
You get my point?
Wow.
It is sad. This one I'll tell you openly.
Absolutely.
That at times I sit and say, there is a negative side of being a younger person. Many times you think you know, but you don't know.
Absolutely.
You lack one great teacher who is experienced.
Absolutely.
You may not have interfaced with professor experience.
Wow.
So, at times I feel very bad and say, but we seem to have found a more qualitative leader in our body. He had his weaknesses. He was the neo-colonial mix. But I think he was a neo-colonialist with more pain than we who came from the what?
Wow.
From the bush. To us, we embrace neo-colonialism.
Yes.
With a sense of feeling that finally we have arrived.
Yes.
It's as if that's what we wanted to do, to be the agents of imperialist hegemony.
Wow.
You get me?
Yes.
Because if you look at the way the Obotes ran the cooperatives, I know the white man was still exploiting.
Yes.
But at the bottom levels, you could see the farmers benefiting.
Right.
But oh my God, I don't want to talk about this country. What is the economic policy? Who runs this economy?
Right.
Who owns what?
Right.
What is the benefit of Ugandans in this economy?
Right.
You even feel bad from the words we used to speak against America and everybody that would run an integrated, independent, self-sustaining national economy. An economy which leaves wealth in the hands of the what?
The people.
Can you imagine somebody stays in the European capital or American capital and says, I've closed Usaid, and we are panicking?
I know.
After 40 years
I know.
of a so-called
I know.
leadership which is focused on the benefits of the people.
Right.
It's sad, but all those are indicators that we lost the big picture. And we are paying for having concentrated on a smaller picture.
I see your point.
Why would somebody, instead of creating huge opportunities for young people in sports, young people in the intellectual world, in law, in medicine, in IT, into innovation and everything, create a robust infrastructure to let young people mind their brains?
Right.
There is no greater wealth than the human brain.
Absolutely.
We are now exporting people to wash dishes. You know?
Yes.
We are exporting bright boys to Europe to wash toilets.
Yes.
And things of that what?
Yes.
Of that nature. So it is extremely ashaming. It is extremely very demeaning for people to see it and they say they have cut aid. And we are panicking. As if aid is something you should look at as a noble.
I know.
Aid is demeaning by nature.
Absolutely.
It points to somebody who is failing.
Your inability to provide for yourself. Yeah. Your dependence.
Exactly.
It's a form of neo-colonialism.
Exactly. It's the perfect indicator.
Yes.
That you are taken over.
Right.
You get me? So, my brother, when we talk about frustration, There are people who are frustrated because they have not had a shot at stealing or a shot at being vagabonds of some people.
Right.
No. I'm glad at 32 I demonstrated that God has blessed me with an independent mind.
I have written a book which I want you to infer your philosophical dispensation. Like I said, I find you one of the most brilliant brains in this country, and arguably probably one of the brightest philosophers that we have living today. I know you rhyme with the likes of Bishop Bamoze. I don't know if you had interface with him.
Yeah,
the likes of the late Dr. Nawiso and Prof. Sorts. And the book that I wrote is called A Hypothetical Debate Between Two Individuals. The Museveni of 1986 versus the Museveni of 2025. Would you imagine if the two individuals are having a debate today? Museveni of 86 is here, Museveni of 2025 is there. Would you imagine Museveni of 86 taking up arms to fight the Museveni of 2025?
No, they would not fight. They would not fight. Ask me why.
Why?
They are the same. They are the same. You see, the Bible says,
Then we shall
know. So the Bibala would not be different if the philosophical genetics was different at the other time. You know? The genotype that there was now is showing the phenotype.
Oh,
you know, God is good.
Goodness me.
So
you were saying,
no, they would not fight at all.
You are saying, in essence, it is just the chicken coming back to roots.
Yeah,
this is the same
exactly.
individual.
Yes.
Who has always been the same.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Because let me tell you,
yes,
even at the level of independence, at the time of independence, the white man knew when he went to meet the Baganda, what you call of Uganda independence, was not Uganda independence. It was independence to the 15 indigenous nations from whom the Muzungu would have power.
Absolutely.
Even when you go to the big door of parliament, he put there the emblems, they have national anthems, they have mottos, all of those paraphernalia which go with the nation state as he made them.
Right.
He put them there on the gate as evidence that Mbadizo buyinza bwamu. Even if he knew that he was giving them half those what? Buyinza.
Absolutely.
At that time, look at Busoga. When Busoga had a government, as Busoga government, do you know that there were no roads in Busoga? All the roads you see in Busoga today were made when bulldozers were pushing Mivule, Misita, and every other indigenous tree to make the roads. Tell me a new road. Since the collapse of these governments by Obote in 1966, tell me a new road which expressly these neo-colonial governments have put in what? In place. Nothing. Look at the education there. Look at the way the government of Busoga organized its people in cooperatives, in agriculture, and so on.
Right.
Look at the civility with which they cut out the Indian from the middleman positions in the agricultural chain link.
Right.
And the African people took it over. Now look at what is happening. Every sugar factory belongs to an Indian or somebody not from Busoga.
Right.
The Basoga have cried out to get a sugar mill. They tell us sugar cane is not profitable.
Right.
But they are giving licenses. Look at the likes of seasoned business like Madivani, seasoned business like Abid Alam. Are they fools to be in an industry which is not profitable?
No.
You get my point?
I do.
So, between me and you, the Busoga administration had a lot of wealth being run.
Right.
There was a lot of planning in the Busoga.
Right.
There was a lot of planning at the level of Ankole.
Right.
There was a lot of planning at the level of Toro.
Right.
There was a lot of planning at the level of Uganda.
Right.
And these areas were doing very well. What has happened today? We have lost the power. We have lost the resources to the center. People now even talk openly against the Supreme Court, interpreting the law, the very elements sat in the CA, met at the level of legislation and said, this is the best constitution.
I know.
The president said, he who tampers with this constitution, I will go back to the bush for the sake of the people of Uganda. He has been the leader in tampering with the what? The constitution. Today is the unfortunate day when the futile war against more superior regimes in terms of thinking and ideology was launched. Because let me tell you, the governments before NRM did better. They did better. In the politics of patronage, they have tried to put so many people who can talk for the regime. You might think they have done a lot. But the question is simple. When Obote was shot, he went to Mulago for treatment. When Amin was shot, he went to Mulago for what? For treatment. Where do people now go?
Right.
What happened?
True.
What happened to the health system?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, resources have been taken to the center.
Yes.
Power has been taken to the what?
The
The center. And trust me, some of these words will speak with certainty.
Right.
This country has no parliament. There is a bunch of survivors there. Who said to Nakolachi, they mask the lack of democracy.
Right. Right.
You get me?
I do get you.
You saw the other day when people put money in ambulances and schools, how it was taken to rock.
Right.
I don't know when rock became a priority compared to the people of Uganda.
I know.
I don't know where the accountability is of rock doing great things for Ugandan people.
Right.
Rock has been, presented as a country which loves Uganda more than the Ugandans love themselves. Rock is like a mini version of the Imperial British East Africa company.
Right.
You get me?
I do get you.
Parliament appropriates, Rocco says they are wrong and they change it. So, between me and you, the collapse of the indigenous nation states has not benefited us. And intentionally, that's what the white man pointed to. These other agents are simply implementing his script.
Absolutely.
You get me?
I do get you.
Tell me one country in this world which is what they're talking about and they speak, read and think in another person's language.
No.
Like we are struggling.
I know. I get your point. In your opinion, Honorable Basakana, in one word I
so,
can say, yes.
Mr. Museveni,
yes.
For instance, of 86, they would not fight.
They wouldn't fight.
Like when Mr. Museveni came and said he has given us a kingdom, is it the kingdom really the Basakana? Would they suppose? The answer is no. I don't want to waste time with that.
True.
Whom did Mr. Museveni consult in Ankole to say that the Banyankole did not want their indigenous nation and king? You get my point?
I do get it.
So, the real Africa, the real spirit of Africa has been trampled and treated like a sumbu.
I see your frustration has got to do with a lot of the loss of Pan-Africanism. I can see that.
And let me tell you, without the spirit of Busoga, Ankole, Teso, Langu, which are the bedrock of our being African.
I know.
Which Pan-Africanism are you talking about?
I agree.
If you say you are against Omugabo of Ankole, which Pan-Africanism are you presenting?
Because it is culture.
From that part of the country.
There has to be an originality.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And thinking for people is dangerous. People sit, think funny things which are shallow. And you know, a liar can be a devil. People have created their own lies, believed in the lies and preached them as gospel truth. It is extremely sad.
I know, because even Adolf Hitler said that it is possible to tell people hell is heaven and heaven is hell. The bigger they lie, the more they are likely to believe it. Exactly. You know, and that's according to Adolf Hitler.
Exactly. So we are in big lies here. And the people have believed the big what?
The big lies.
Who tells you that money develops people and not production and marketing system? You want to, instead of improving a marketing system in the sugarcane industry and raise the incomes of the people, you come to a parish of 20,000 people, even if there are 4,000, you are giving 100 million peanuts every year. Yes. When will the last man get your 1 million?
I know. When you're spending about 2 point something.
Yeah, because that's now your mode
of
making the people better. You give this one 1 million, then others on the line waiting. You have to agree with death, party with death, and say never take me. I have a long-term program.
Honorable,
but which is not practical.
Honorable Basakana, what went wrong? What went wrong?
What went wrong is a long story. What went wrong begins with the European invasion and the Arab invasion in the days of slave trade.
Other than that, because now we are coming in the time when Basakana...
No, these are the little things you see.
They are an offshoot of...
They are an offshoot. They are an offshoot. They are a product, you know. Our independence, if you analyze it well, it is a product of a failed struggle by the black people to free themselves.
Right.
These struggles you see in Congo, NRA, in the bush, and so on and so forth, those are wars inside the prison. You are all prisoners. Successfully, the white man has managed to make Africa a big open air prison. But prisoners will always have their conflicts because of problems in prison.
Right.
By the West.
Yes.
Our demands are this, but we are left with this. Okay? But amongst ourselves, there is a group which shows us that we are at our best with this, because they dominate the appropriation of what? Of these tiny things the white man leaves.
Right.
So what happens? We are in a crisis of survival. Everything is deficient. And when everything is deficient, you begin seeing yourself, your colleagues as an enemy. People have lost trend. And over time, they have lied to the Basoga that the Banyankole are the problem. Because there could be more Banyankole suffering in managing these crimes for the white man.
Yes.
They are all in prison.
Right.
But it is Tony Nyako. Sembe na yo.
Right.
Tujja kukuba oli mupya mukomera ebyawano tobimanyi. The people are beginning proud that ya manye komera tomuzanyisa ebyekomera tobimanyi. Keep quiet. We have been in prison. You saw the politics of FDC here. It was funny. Somebody is telling another, don't joke with us in FDC. How many police bonds do you have? How many court battles do you have? I wonder how court battles and police battles makes somebody great and is more informed for policy philosophy and is an authority in guiding the community.
I know.
You get my point?
I do.
So, there is a lot of struggle within, and all these struggles you see. You see in here. Like NRM today is celebrating their victory. Of course, UFM could be saying we lost it all. Twakola byo kubeyungako. UNRF would say oboli awo twandiganye okubeyungako. But all of these are fights inside the prison.
Right.
Every other regime which comes is promising a prison break. But somehow they concentrate on monopolizing the big ladle for Posho and beans in prison so that they can have a better pie.
Right.
But inside what? Inside the prison. So between me and you, Museveni of 1986 was a prisoner. The outcome of the seed I've showed you that was an imprisoned mind. And we see that so no prisoner would fight himself in prison. He could fight others, but not himself. So Museveni of 1986 meeting Museveni of today. So
my question still remains: what went wrong? Because we see Museveni of 86 coming in with a lot of panic.
Yeah, because the question is yes, you are celebrating Mozambique in Nyerere and everybody. Those are other prisons. If this is Nyerere in Tanzania was Moroto. Mozambique was Morokatipe. Because what is in Mozambique now? What is in Mozambique now? What has Mozambique got to show? It shows you that the seed inside those men finally. The Mzungu knew they will settle for managing his program.
Wow.
And now everybody is jostling to be the manager of the white man's what? Program.
Are you trying to say
so at the end of the day, let me tell you,
yes,
what did Nyerere say he had delivered for Tanzania? People have struggled to find what Nyerere did for Tanzania. Look at what is happening in Tanzania today. God asked Tundu Lissu if Nyerere built anything. Nyerere built a Tanzanian grown dictatorship. He could have surpassed the individual. Actually, he built it more dangerously. It survived the individual, and it has become institution.
Wow. Wow.
See, anything outside CCM is a crime.
Absolutely. So, are you trying to say that that informs your frustration? Is that this frustration is it a philosophical frustration, individual frustration? I know you've argued it, but I just want for our viewers, for the sake of viewers.
It is philosophical. The earlier we realize that we must retrace the value of our indigenous nations. What gives us value is our culture. What gives us value is our language. God gave us a piece of land called Busoga. He gave people a piece of land called Ankole. He gave another nation state a piece of land called Yoruba land. He gave the Fulani a piece of what? Land. A piece of land. And he gave the Fulani wisdom across many years of interaction with the environment. They had developed a science and technology to sort themselves out in medicine and so many other things which colonialism did what? Destroy. So unless, for instance, the building blocks of Africa, of Pan-Africanism, is not Uganda. Which language do you call Uganda? Which language do you call Uganda? The Uganda language which you call official is what? English. Uganda is a colonial concoction.
Absolutely.
But the real building blocks which make Africa is Busoga, is Kikuyu, is Nandi. You get my point? Is Bemba, is it Zemba in Zambia, is the Zulu,
the Bantu,
and so on. You get me?
Yes.
Unless you retrace your meaning, that's what defines Africa. And that's where God put the secrets in those cultures to develop Africa, the way Chinese have developed what? China. And they were coded and hidden in the language God gave them.
Okay, I know you are a very intelligent man and you are running away from this, but I want you to politically philosophize my argument in light of the political philosophy of Uganda as we stand today.
Now, let me tell you, for instance, what would you call, do you need a philosopher to get lost?
You don't need a philosopher to get lost.
Yeah.
Lost itself is a philosophy.
If you want to study law, you may need to go through so many